Good evening, afternoon, morning, night, whichever one it is. Hello, welcome back to another daily vlog. Today we're starting right on into the DoorDash portion of the video. This morning was a little bit of a doozy. I slept in until like 11 o'clock. I didn't really sleep all that good last night, so I took the opportunity to sleep in a little bit. So I got up and there was a handful of things that I had to take care of after that, and so I basically ate up all my time earlier in the day, so I wasn't able to get out and go record anything around town. Hopefully tomorrow's video will be different, but as far as this video goes, we are jumping right on into the DoorDash portion. And we're going to see if we can break $100 on a Sunday. I did go ahead and transfer all the money from the DoorDash account into my bank account. I had some bills that I had to take care of. So we're back down to about $1 in what we have from our DoorDash, right? I just went to the gas station. I did go ahead and grab some gas just to top me off. And I didn't necessarily have to, so tomorrow I probably don't have to. But anyways, I did go ahead and clean the outside of the windows all the way around the van. It was extremely dirty, and now I'm noticing that I do need to clean the inside of the windows. I do have some glass cleaner in the back. I could do that at some point if I get some downtime. Actually, no, I can't, because I do have a towel. I could use that towel. It's one of the shower bath towels from the house. I'd rather use a rag. Actually, I may have a rag back there in that bucket. It's been sprinkling on and off today. It's starting to sprinkle again. So, we'll see how this goes. DoorDashing in the rain. It's not supposed to be like super rainy, thunderstormy. It's just kind of like scattered, rain here and there. And I just cleaned this windshield, so hopefully these wipers don't leave nasty streaks. If they do, I'll have to go stop somewhere and clean this windshield again. But anyways, alright, so I'm opening up the DoorDash app. It's saying it's busy right now. Average wait is 4 minutes for an offer. And let's go ahead and hit start, and I'm going to go ahead and select until 8 p.m. And let's see how the day goes. Goodness gracious. This is so Florida too. Like, the sky is mostly clear. There's some clouds off to my left there. But yeah, it's mostly clear out, and here it is sprinkling. I did check the weather. It's saying like around 4 to 6 o'clock it's supposed to rain pretty heavy, so I may have to go back to the house and grab an umbrella. I should have went ahead and grabbed one and threw it in the car. But we're heading to the usual sitting spot. See if we can get a DoorDash order in here. Interesting. Alright, got our first order, McDonald's pickup. It's like $6 for 2.5 miles, not too bad. And it's actually starting to rain harder, which is a bit annoying. Hold up a minute. Let's see. It should stop here pretty soon, hopefully. But, so, I was just sitting here waiting for an order to come in, and I was kind of messing around on ChatGPT, and I was kind of asking it, like, hey, look, this is the situation. I have a minivan already. Here's what I want with a cargo van. Here's my situation. Here's how I'm feeling, blah, blah, blah. what should I do? Should I go ahead and convert the minivan that I have just to get started, or should I save and buy the cargo van and build that out? Now, I was in the middle of reading the response and weighing all the pros and cons when I got this order to come in. So I'm going to go ahead and go grab this order, get this one knocked out, and then I'll see if I can get a minute to finish reading the rest of that response and let you know what it says. Well, it didn't stop raining, so that's great. I just finished that McDonald's order, and I've got my DoorDash put on pause. I am going to wait for this rain to pass a little bit because I don't have my umbrella with me. I mean, I could go back to the house and get it real quick, but it should be done raining here shortly. We'll see. I don't know. I got soaked delivering that McDonald's. Ridiculous. I did just turn down a Burger King order. It was like $5.50 for 5 miles, so it was just barely over $1 a mile. So I went ahead and just declined it and put my DoorDash on pause until it stops raining. But that's okay. It's going to give me a minute to kind of sit in the parking lot here until it stops raining, and I can finish reading the response that ChatGPT sent me in reference to whether I should build out this minivan or save for a cargo van. So stay tuned for that. But it's still raining. Just finished reading the ChatGPT response. I'm trying to dry off. Shoulders are a little wet. So, anyways, yeah. So I finished reading the ChatGPT response, and it's basically saying, based on what my goals are, based on what I want, based on what I want to do, and everything, it's saying to go ahead and convert this minivan that I already have, and then upgrade later. One, because actually, let's just pull it up here. If it'll load. Alright, so the pros of the minivan, starting in, it's saying this is the best to start now with this minivan. Zero vehicle cost, which is correct. I already own the vehicle. I can start traveling immediately without waiting months, which is true. It's much better on gas mileage than cargo vans. Pretty true. Easier to stealth park in cities, beaches, and trailheads. I'm not too concerned about stealth parking, because let's be real. Like, van life is pretty far and widespread that the majority of places don't really care where you park for the night, as long as you're not parked somewhere that's just obviously not meant for parking overnight, right? Or if there's signs for somewhere that says no overnight parking. You know, there's always Cracker Barrel parking lots. There's always Walmart, certain Walmarts, not all Walmarts. You know, and then there's, you know, iOverlander has a plethora of free parking overnight. So, I mean, I'm not too concerned about stealth parking, right? The whole stealth thing, I think, has kind of worn itself out. And I think people have overplayed the whole stealth camping thing, in my opinion. I never really cared for it. I'm going to live in a vehicle. I'm going to be comfortable. I don't care if it's stealth. I don't care if people know I'm living in it. It is what it is, you know, and I'll just find somewhere that I'm allowed to park for the night. Simple as that. Much cheaper insurance and maintenance, which the maintenance I could see probably being about the same, but insurance... maybe, yeah, because I think cargo vans are typically considered work vehicles, so the insurance rates might be a little higher. This is considered a passenger vehicle. Maybe. Yeah. The cons: less space. Sleeping and storage can feel tight. Very true. I mentioned wanting a van that I can fully stand up in. I won't be able to do that in here, so the space may feel cramped, but my hopes is that I'll be out of the vehicle enough that it won't really matter. You know, whether that be setting up a campsite somewhere, whether that be out exploring some location or something, right? Harder to fully stand up or build a complex setup. Now, I have to disagree. Now, the stand-up part, yes, we just talked about that. But the build a complex setup, I disagree, because I've seen quite a few really good complex van builds, minivan builds on YouTube. Starting to lightly sprinkle here, so just give it a little bit longer. So yeah, having and I've already kind of got a build plan for this thing. So limited water and electric system. Now the electric system, I can see the limitations being the amount of solar panels you can have on the roof. The limitations as far as like how many batteries you can have, like what's your amp hours and all that stuff. I can make a compact setup in here that would give me quite a bit of power, and I'd have to do some research on that. So I'm not fully agreeing on that one. Now, limited water, yes, the water is going to be a lot smaller. We're talking maybe a 5-gallon container, you know, or something, you know, and then like for the sink, it's got to have a drain off. So, you know, that's going to be like a 5-gallon. So I'm going to have to keep refilling my drinking water and clean water and dumping my dirty water more frequently. But, you know, it is what it is. Let's see. Now, option 2. Wait and buy a cargo van. Pros. Stand-up interior, full bed and kitchen and solar possible. I could do solar in this. I could do a kitchen in this. A full bed, I don't really care about a full bed. Even in a big cargo van, you see everybody does like the full bed builds in the back. Like, it's just me. I'm one dude. All I need is a twin-size mattress. I don't need a full-size, a queen-size, a whatever, king-size mattress in my vehicle. You know, I'm going for functionality and being comfortable at the same time, right? So like I would be perfectly fine on a twin mattress, so that would give me more space. I've already got a bed size and everything planned out for this. More comfortable for long trips. Again, that's, I don't know, that depends on your preference. Looks more van life aesthetic. I don't really care about van life aesthetic. Most of the, and to be real with you, most of the stuff you see on Instagram and YouTube and everything is just all fluffed up crap. It's not what they make it out to be. The cons: used vans can cost $15,000 to $40,000. That's true, although I have seen some cheaper ones around my area where I could pick one up that may need a little bit of work, cosmetically or whatever, that may not look the prettiest, for about $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. The build cost $2,000 to $20,000. Now, I could easily make this minivan cost the same thing, depending on what I do. So again, you know, not exactly too concerned about that. Worse MPG, not really concerned about that either. It's a big financial risk if you decide van life isn't for you, which is true. But here's the thing: I drove a semi-truck for 6 years. I'm used to being on the road. I'm used to living in a cramped space for months at a time, right? I was out for 4 to 6 months at a time when I was driving a truck, so it's nothing new to me. So that comes down to personal preference again. What it recommends for me is to do the minivan now and treat it as like a phase 1, right? And then upgrade into a bigger van. So yeah, that's basically what it says as far as what it recommends. So I don't know. I'm still tossing it up in the air. Still tossing it up in the air. I am starting to lean more towards just going ahead and building out this minivan. I was actually on Amazon last night just kind of looking around, and let me see if I can get it loaded up here and see if I can find a couple of things. Now, obviously, I got to make sure what I'm doing works with, you know, the electrical setup that I can get. So let me go to my lists here. Okay, so what I have found on Amazon is I've got a 14-inch vent fan that's got the remote, it's got the rain sensor, temp control, all that stuff for $115. That's not bad. There's an air conditioner, rooftop air conditioner. It's a low profile. It's got the remote, all that stuff, 12 volt, the whole shebang, and that is $277. So that's not too bad. 400 watts of solar panels for $186. I don't know how big those are, so I would have to measure and see if I can maybe squeeze some more. Now the biggest cost is going to be the batteries. So like here's a 280 amp hour lithium ion battery with the Bluetooth capability and everything. One of them is $400. That's going to be the most expensive thing so far. But so you can see, like right off the rip, it's going to be going on the cheaper end of things and going with a budget build, right? It would make much more sense to start with this van and experiment with it, right? Because I may find that cheaper $277 AC unit is perfectly fine and use it on a big cargo van later on, because that's going to be way too much AC unit for this minivan, that is for sure. But that's like the cheapest, smallest one that I could find. Unless there's some out there that I don't know about, I could do some more research and see if I can find one. But that's kind of where I'm at right now with that. Again, with the solar panels, I would have to measure out my surface area on the roof. Now, I am not against going over the windshield a little bit if I have to squeeze some extra solar panels on there. Because I could do 200 watt solar panels, and if I can get 4 of those, that would give me 800 watts of solar power on the roof, which is a lot, and I could easily move that over to a cargo van later. I would love to have 1,000 watts, but if I could do 800, maybe 600 even, that would be perfect. So if I got to overhang the windshield just a little bit, it is what it is. I'll build a roof rack and everything anyways to go over the fan and over the AC unit. So it's going to be sticking up a little bit. It might not look the prettiest, but hey, you know, it is what it is. I could even put a solar shower pipe on it. I could put some lights around it to light up the camp area. I could do an awning. You know, so there's a lot of things that I could do to this van build that I can experiment with and see if I like it or not, and know later on if I want to spend the money on a big cargo van to get better products or better versions of a product. So, yeah, I don't know. Thinking thoughts. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let me know what you think. I am really leaning towards going ahead and just starting to build out this minivan. That way I can hit the road. But first thing I got to do, as I think I mentioned in yesterday's video or the video before, I got to do the rear shocks. Absolutely 100% got to do the rear shocks. And then I need the washer fluid motor. And then There's a couple of other things, like the power steering pump is going to need replaced eventually. It's got a very, very slow leak in it. Like, I fill it up and it's good for months and months. And then it just kind of, I don't know, maybe 3 months, every 3 months I got to top it off. So it's got a very slow little leak in it, and the pulley is squeaking. So that's kind of another sign that it's going bad. It's probably due for a serpentine belt as well. So maybe it definitely needs an oil change. I know that. So I mean, you know, the typical maintenance stuff, and then fixing a couple of things like the rear shocks, the windshield washer motor, power steering pump, serpentine belt, oil change. Maybe add a reverse camera. I think that would be a luxury item though, so I don't know if I'd necessarily do that. The glove box, it doesn't stop when it opens. The cable broke on it, so I can go to a junkyard and see if I can find that piece. The rear door needs the shocks for the door to hold the door open. The hood does as well. Those went bad from sitting, so I need to do those. Those are pretty cheap though. Window tint would be nice. Window tint would absolutely be nice. Now, I'll go over the build design that I would go with another time. But there's some of these windows, they won't be visible from the inside. So they're going to be blacked out anyways. But I would need insulation and stuff like that. You know, the plastics would have to come out. There's a lot of stuff that I would have to do to make this van ready to roll, right? Alright, the sun is starting to come out. I think we might be okay to go ahead and start door dashing again. So I'm going to go ahead and resume dash and see if I can get another order here. So the first hour was pretty shot. Made $6 because of the rain. So, yeah, I don't know. Thinking thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And, yeah, let's keep on grinding and making some money. Just picked up our next order here. We got one at Chipotle. It's like $10 for 9 miles. Kind of putting us a little further south, so we're going to have to trek back into town. But hopefully we'll get something along the way. It did finally stop raining, and the sun is back out, shining bright. And, yeah, hopefully we can make some money now. I gotta tell you, today's just not looking too good as far as door dashing. Hopefully it'll pick up later on. I just delivered the Chipotle. I got another offer, $3.10 for 3.8 miles. So it's just below the $1 a mile mark. But I'm kind of out here away from everything, so I went ahead and took it just to give me something to, you know, make up for the gas to get back out to the main road and back up into town. So, but there's been a lot of really cheap offers coming in today. So it looks like Fridays and Saturdays are going to be the best days to really run in this area. But Tuesday through Thursday were pretty good, and then Friday and Saturday were really good. I don't know how Monday looks yet, so maybe we'll run tomorrow. That way we can get a baseline, like I was saying a couple of videos ago, and get a baseline of this area for every day of the week. And then from there we'll make the decision on where to go, because like today, while it may not be very good here, I could have better luck Sunday through Thursday going over to Orlando, and then Friday and Saturday I could stay here and make pretty good money. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. We'll see how the rest of the evening goes, but it's not looking too good. Looking like a lot of cheapskates are ordering DoorDash today. Nobody wants to pay anything, so all right, we'll get over here and get this picked up and get it delivered. And just thinking about it while I was doing this McDonald's delivery, I'm going to try to sneak back up north before it gives me another one here. I could actually pause it and get back up north. I might do that real quick. No, let's just let it roll. Let it roll. We got a green light. Alright, so, yeah, I was just thinking also, instead of going over to Orlando right off the rip, I could try the town south, or the zone south, which is going to encompass Cocoa, Merritt Island, and Rockledge area. And usually that's a pretty good area. That's just south of me, and then just north of me, I got the New Smyrna, Daytona Beach area. So I definitely have options that's closer and easier to get to than Orlando, and easier to navigate in than Orlando. I may do those. I might try, you know what I might try? I might try the zone south for a week, and then I might try the zone north for a week. And that'll kind of give me a baseline reading of this whole general area. Now, I know what I can make in a day over in Orlando. It's really good over there. So, I'm just thinking, like, right now, while I get things kind of in order and make my decision on what I'm going to do as far as a van, get my bills and my budget and everything sorted and in order. I don't know. While I do some repairs to this vehicle, I could try those areas, maybe just run this coastal area between the three zones. Maybe. All right, let's get back up here into town, into a hot zone here, hot spot, and keep going. All right, just got another one from Chipotle again. It's gonna be $9.85 for 6.5 miles. Not too bad. It's better than what I've been getting. That is for sure. Hopefully I catch this green light. Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. You can definitely tell it's coming into springtime here in Florida. Things are starting to feel pretty nice. I do love living in Florida, don't get me wrong, but I am so ready to just get out and explore. Like, I drove a truck for 6 years, and, like, I've seen pretty much every state except for Washington State, Oregon, Alaska, and Hawaii. And while I have been to all these states and everything, I didn't really get the opportunity to really hang around and explore the area all that much. There were a couple of times that I was able to, park the truck, take some time off in the area, and explore, like Vegas. I did a couple of times. So, I mean, I'm definitely ready to just get out and explore. But I do love being in Florida. I love being next to the water. And I'm really itching to actually go down to the Keys. So that might be a trip here in the near future if I can get things sorted out with this van. If I do go this route, or maybe even just a trip down or something, and even if I find a campsite or something to camp out at without all the build out or anything in a van, right? I don't know, just thinking. Let's get over here and get this picked up and get it delivered. I was just about to turn the camera on, and I got another one from Sonic.
Turn left, then turn right.
It's paying $12.75 for 8 miles.
Turn right onto South
It's pretty good.
Providence Avenue.
And I was gonna say something when I was gonna start the camera, but I just forgot. Oh, I was just thinking to myself that, today may be a dud, but I just got this really good one in, so I'm going to give it a little bit longer and just see how the evening kind of progresses. Like, if it's not so good, I'm just going to call it quits and maybe even just take Sundays off. Because right now I'm looking at working Monday through Sunday. And I need to give myself some days off, and I think like we're sitting at $433 for the week, and that's just doing Tuesday through Saturday. And I could probably make more if I would have done like lunch runs and stuff like that on the weekdays, and put myself at that 500 a week goal that I was looking at, and take Sundays off, Sunday and Monday, right? But maybe I'll do Mondays. I don't know. But I was thinking about just calling it quits for the day and going to the house and kind of really fleshing out my budget a little bit better than what I did, because I kind of just like roughly slapped together the budget with rough numbers and kind of rounded numbers and stuff like that. But I kind of want to do exact and really nail down the budget. And then also I want to put together a list of what's needed for this van if I was to convert it. Alright, I don't need you telling me to turn left and then turn left again and then make another left. Alright, calm down. I'm here. This parking lot is absolute garbage. Actually, I'm going to see if I can do it this way. Alright, got that picked up. But yeah, like I was saying, I was thinking about just calling it quits for Sunday, for today, and just going to the house and relaxing a little, and really nailing down a solid budget, and then really going through and making a list of what this van would need and how much it would cost me to get the parts and fix it. I do all the work myself, of course. I'm not going to pay a shop to rip me off. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on today. And maybe moving forward, I just take Sundays off. I don't know. That would open up Sunday for doing some other things, vlogging wise. Maybe going out visiting somewhere or something. I don't know. Thoughts. Always thoughts. Sir, get your Maserati out of the way. Thank you. Alright, off to make this delivery, and then I'll feel it out for the next hour or so, and if it's not any better by 6 o'clock, I'll probably go ahead and just call it quits. And the video won't be over or nothing. I'll still kind of go over my budget and everything if I do that at the house. But alright, well, I underestimated Sunday, much like I did Friday. It has been a pretty good day. We're over $100 for the night, for the day, and we're still going. It is starting to rain again, so I don't know. Maybe this is where I call it quits. It is 8:30. I don't know. Maybe I'll push till 9 o'clock. I'll see what the orders are like. I'm out on the interstate right now, heading to the north end of town, and I have a Panda Express order. It's paying, I think it was 12 and some change for 6-7 miles, something like that. So it has been a pretty busy non-stop day. I mean, I'll do a recap at the end once I'm done and go over exactly how much I made for the day. But it definitely picked up. And the payouts have been much better. So, gonna keep going. Alright, got that one delivered. I'm trying to get back into town. It is 8:40, and I may have to end my dash and then start again if I want to keep going, or I can go ahead and end it. I'm gonna wait until I get back into town, into a hotspot area, and see if it's gonna give me an order by the time I get there. If it does, then if it's a good one, I'll go ahead and take it. If it doesn't give me something by the time I get there, then I'll go ahead and end it, and we'll do a recap of how much I've made for today, which it's looking pretty good. We're sitting at $131 right now for the day, which which is very, very good. That is another plus 20 an hour, or 20 plus an hour, however you want to say it, evening. So let me get back over here to a hotspot area. Well, I didn't get anything on my way here. I'm in the parking lot and sat for a little bit, didn't get anything. I figured I probably got to end it and then restart it if I want to keep going. It does say it's busy, plus the $1 extra per delivery right now. But to be honest, $131 for 4 active hours. We just pulled a $32 an hour night. I extremely underestimated Sunday, and it turned out to be our best evening. So now I'm not going to count on every Sunday being this good, but this may have just been a fluke. Who knows? But I do believe that's where I'm going to go ahead and end things off in this vlog. This may end up being a shorter vlog because I didn't do anything this morning or anything. So I got some ideas in the frying pan, you know. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next vlog.